Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 28th of October, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe on time in a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 for November itself at the end of the video, and I should get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say about the first video series, our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've also released January Friday. Check out those two bits if you'd like to like, share, and subscribe on all today's videos and content. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. I'm going to say thank you so much for an amazing live stream that we did yesterday. My birthday live stream was absolutely unbelievable. We had such an active live chat, so many people checking in to wish me a happy birthday. We had over £100 in super chats as well, which is just absolutely unbelievable, incredible. I was completely flabbergasted by the response to me, you know, on my birthday from all of you. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, to the whole of the GavsWeatherVids community, really, for making my birthday so very special yesterday. Thank you so much, everybody. I had a lovely day, probably the best birthday I've had, the first birthday, really, I think, I've had, but I've actually enjoyed since I lost my mum couple of years ago, and you know, made it so special. Thank you so much, everybody. The GavsWeatherVids community is absolutely awesome and amazing and incredible, so thank you so much to all of you for making my 42nd, 41st, 39th, 37th, 33rd. Anyway, thank you so much for making my birthday so very special yesterday. Right, we're going to start off in the tropical Atlantic. So we've got two interesting areas, a yellow X just here and an orange X as appear just there. The yellow X is disturbance 1, and with a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. So I don't think we have to worry too much about that. But we have got disturbance 2 with a 50% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. We're saying widespread showers and blizzards continue across the northwestern Caribbean Sea, and associated with a broad area of low pressure is gradually becoming better defined to the north of the eastern Honduras. Environmental conditions appear conducive for some additional development over the next day or so, and a short-lived tropical depression or storm could form before the system moves inland over Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico on Saturday. Regardless of development, locally heavy rainfall is likely across portions of Central America and southern Mexico through the weekend. So that could bring a lot of rain to Central America there. And southern Mexico. Might be a short-lived tropical storm. It's going to move in that direction by the look of it, and will sort of dissipate, I suppose, or weaken. Any tropical storm development will fade out as it moves over land. So we'll keep you posted. Anyway, we could get another late tropical storm and or hurricane at some point over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and obviously keep you posted. Remember, the hurricane season itself doesn't finish until the 30th of November. So sorry, everyone. Right, we're in for a major windstorm ourselves. Not a hurricane, of course, but tropical storm. But we are in for a major windstorm on Sunday. So just have a quick look at that before we move on. These are the latest predicted wind gusts from UKV at the Weather Outlook. That's the highest res model, really, and it's UK Met product. This is for late Saturday afternoon, evening. Light winds across much of the country. Nothing much to worry about there. Wind strength overnight from Saturday into Sunday. So by Sunday morning, already pretty gusty around those Atlantic and Irish Sea coasts, with gusts up to 60 or 70 miles an hour. But things get much worse through Sunday afternoon and evening. Check out those wind gusts out in the Atlantic. Of course, they're not impacted anywhere directly, but sort of 90 to maybe 100 mile an hour gusts there out at sea in the Atlantic. Into western Scotland, Northern Ireland, by the middle of Sunday afternoon, got gusts going up to 60, 70 miles per hour. We then see those strongest winds again, sort of 80, 90 mile an hour gusts moving into southwestern Scotland, 60 to 70 mile an hour gusts for Northern Ireland as well, 70 mile an hour gusts for northwestern parts of England. Looks pretty horrendous, I have to say. up in the north on Sunday evening. And then those very strong storm force winds move inland across Scotland and northern parts of England as we go through into Sunday evening. So Scotland, again, widespread wind gusts across Scotland, even eastern Scotland, sort of 60 to 70 miles an hour. Some parts of northern, western and southwestern Scotland seeing gusts in excess of 70 to 80 miles per hour. We've got 70 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts in Northern Ireland, northwestern England. But winds are lighter down in the south, pretty blustery still there, sort of 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts, but not anywhere near as bad for England and Wales as it is for Scotland, Northern Ireland, the far north of England. Overnight from sunny to muddy, those strongest winds then transfer out into the North Sea, and then that is the end of it. But it's going to be very wild up in the north on Sunday. Do take care if you're in Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the far northwest, possibly North Wales as well, where widespread wind gusts of like 50, 60, 70 miles an hour are distinctly possible. And there is an area across Scotland in particular where we might see gusts of wind in excess of 80 miles an hour, 80 to 90 miles an hour wind gusts are possible. So look after yourself if you're up in the north this weekend. And we'll keep you posted on the 6 a.m. forecast, of course, here at GavsWeatherVids. Right, central temperature is now ticking up to 11.1, that's 0.6 of a degree above 61 to 90 average. It's provisional to yesterday to the 17th of October. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Starting off above average of the upper air temperature at the moment. A few more days of this quite mild spell to come. Next week, though, the upper air temperature is returning back closer to average then, and then just sticking reasonably close to normal as we go through the remainder of October and into the beginning of November as well. About average, slightly below, not a particularly big deviation. But just masking a little bit of scatter though, I have to say. So around here, there might be a bit of cold snap opening up around the 26th to 28th of October, maybe getting to the beginning of November. Might be a little bit of cold snap starting to open up there as well. So, you know, but kind of ignore the warmer on some members up here, though, of course. But it does look as though, once we get the next couple of days that way, next 2 or 3 days, we're into a cooler trend then through the last week of October into start of November. Precipitation-wise, going to be some more wet weather to come, of course. We've got further rain today and tonight and tomorrow morning. And then these are precipitation spikes associated with Sunday's stormy weather. Down in the south, it will just have a period of heavy rain, won't have to worry about wind. Further north, as well as the rain, there will be, some very strong winds as we've established. Then a few days of drier weather through the start of next week, perhaps back to more unsettled conditions, though, later next week. Temperature anomalies from the 18th to 26th of October, above average. I expect these to start cooling a little bit, these temperature anomaly maps, over the next few days. But for the moment, above average temperatures, not just the UK, but all parts of Europe and also up into Russia as well. Above average, although Turkey does look a little bit on the cold side there. And precipitation anomalies from the 18th to 26th of October, most areas coming out a bit drier than normal as well. So, sorry everyone, latest wind from Matt from earth.nullschool.net. So we've got low pressure in the Atlantic close to Iceland. There's a weather system coming in from the west as well. That will be bringing wet weather across the country today, tonight, and will linger in eastern and southeastern regions for a good portion of tomorrow morning before finally clearing out into the North Sea. I don't think we yet make out Sunday's windstorm, but we should be able to see that tomorrow, I would have thought. Anyway, let's start going through chart data. Let's have the latest UK bet Euro roads looking big night on Monday. So by then, Sunday's storm is still powering away. It's sitting just to the north of Scotland. Strongest wind gusts, as always, on the southern side of the low. And that's really coming in through Scotland in particular. Although, as we've established, Northern Ireland and the far north of England will get some very strong winds as well. But looking pretty horrendous there across Scotland, I have to say. Overnight Sunday into Monday be a rough night, I think, up in the north on Sunday night. Into Tuesday, we're just going to a flat westerly flow, that brings showery conditions in from off the Atlantic. Excuse me, and then through next week we find high pressure building across the continent, turning the south and east mostly dry, but northwest looking unsettled, and it will be very mild as well, with winds coming back up from the southwest. By the end of next week, another weather system and area of low pressure will be bringing further rain in from the Atlantic. Icon again looking very stormy for Scotland overnight from Sunday to Monday, remembering to those flat westerly winds, so they'll be bringing shower conditions in with them, and more low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic later next week, keeping the unsettled weather going. The KMA, again, we see that at low, that storm, might be a named storm Ash, I think, that could be to the north of Scotland overnight from Sunday into Monday. Very strong winds in the northern half of the country, with of course of Sunday into Monday. Next week, flat pancake, high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and more wet weather to come. Quite a deep low coming in there towards the end of next week as well. That brings some more very strong winds and also heavy rain across the country. Once that clears, it starts to turn a little bit colder as well, with high pressure beginning to try and build from both the south and also to the northeast as well. We end up looking like that under a trough of low pressure there. High pressure, you'll notice, is trying to start getting going towards Scandinavia, so that's quite interesting. That gets us to the 30th of October. Jeremy, Friday today, not letting cats out of the bag because it's in the title. Jeremy, Friday today is suggesting we might have a cold first half to November, and maybe that's a bit of a hint of it from the KMA by the end of the run. GFS midnight run, again, looking pretty strong for Scotland. Maybe not quite as bad as like the UK Met and Icon and the KMA, though. I don't think the isobars are quite as tightly packed there with the GFS midnight run for midnight on Monday, but still very windy and stormy anyway. Then after that, we find high pressure building up from the south, so through the middle part of next week turns mostly dry. Should be relatively mild, but it could be a bit of frost and fog, of course, under that ridge. And then we're heading to the last days of October, trying to re-establish a westerly flow, but still we have a fair amount of influence from high pressure down in the south. But then into month's end, we find high pressure building across the country quite strongly. So the GFS midnight run really going to town with the high pressure, becoming a bit of a high pressure vest actually, into the beginning of November. Again, technically that's a mild ridge, but it is November, so particularly skies are clear. We might see some frost and fog and that sort of thing under the high pressure. The GFS 6Z run, in comparison, looks like that. Once more, high pressure building over to southeast country through the middle of next week. But by the end of next week, we're back under the caution of low pressure again. And that happens because of this low just here. So 6 a.m. Thursday, that low doesn't look like much, does it, to the southwest approaches? But by 6 a.m. Friday, that's developed into another significant area of low, and that will be bringing heavy rain and potentially gale force winds with it as well as it pushes across the country. So the final weekend of October looking really unsettled. That's Saturday, 26th of October, very, very unsettled then. Low pressure in control, and we keep it quite cold and showery then into the end of the month. Winds in from the northwest, high pressure out in the Atlantic, so all looking pretty unsettled and quite cold. High pressure then starts building through the country into early November, and it's reaching up towards Scandinavia as well. So the opening days of November sees a bit of a Scandinavian high, trough of low pressure underneath it. The overhead temperatures I don't think are particularly cold. Remember, it is still early November, but we'll certainly have a chill to them, those east-northeasterly winds. Probably bring a lot of cloud, damp sort of weather. Pretty uninspiring, but it's the pattern that's quite interesting there. But we see high pressure trying to get going over Scandinavia, and actually extending back towards the Siberian high, fundamentally, but sitting over Russia there. So it may be just a heads up, but this November certainly the first half of it, anyway, could be shaping up to be quite calm. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to everyone bored doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. And we thank you so much, everyone, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everyone. It's absolutely lovely. Well, I think we need to put on around 40 subscribers, that's all, to get to 18.9k as well, by the way. So if you could give us a sub, that would be absolutely epic. Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much to all of you for a wonderful birthday yesterday. You know, you made my day so very, very special. So thank you so much. Right, GM shows low pressure to the north of Scotland. And not too bad, I mean, not in too bad a condition. Had a couple of drinks last night, but I'm not too bad. Pretty, you know, I'm on it, aren't I? Gav's on it. Just about. Anyway, no, GM, with low pressure to the north of Scotland, so pretty windy midnight Sunday into Monday, very to those flat westerlies around the middle part of the week. Later next week, low pressure comes back in from off the Atlantic. That brings more wet weather in with it, turning cooler as well into the last weekend of October, I should say. I've just said I'm on it, I'm getting mixed up. No, this is the 26th, 27th of October. Winds going to the north, so then we do start to turn a little bit colder, but still unsettled, of course, as always this autumn. We finish up at day 10, again just hinting, but we might try and raise the heights a little bit towards Scandinavia there. And then lastly, the ECM, perhaps looking windier for Scotland, midnight Monday. So that was pretty horrendous, I think, across Scotland there. And also very windy for Northern Ireland and Northern England as well. So I think the ECM is probably more severe with that low. So a little bit further south. The difference is below with the ECM is a little bit further south, more towards the far north of Scotland. Remember, the strongest wind is always on the southern side of below. So that means that more of Scotland and even to Northern Ireland and Northern England are under the cosh of that of the strongest winds on the southern side of below. Whereas the GFS, I think, had below, it's a subtle difference, but the GFS had below a little bit more towards, centred a little bit more towards there, I think. But anyway, it looks like it's going to be pretty wild on Sunday in the north. Take care if you're up there. And then through next week, you find high pressure building up for the south, so the middle part of the week mostly dry and should be pretty mild as well. But then this next area of low develops Thursday to Friday, so that brings heavy rain and some strong winds this time a bit further southwards. Into the last weekend of October, the low pressure sinks away towards France and Biscay. High pressure takes over, and that's quite a cold ridge, so we could end October on a mostly dry, but potentially quite chilly note there, perhaps with some frost and fog. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tibetio.com. So rain coming across the country through today, tonight, and lingering in these eastern and southeastern regions through much of Saturday morning as well. Even in Saturday afternoon, East Anglia, southeastern England is struggling to get rid of that rain. So really, it's going to be one of those cases where the rain outstays its welcome down there in the southeast tomorrow, I'm afraid. We do turn drier overnight from Saturday into Sunday, and then all this wet weather starts sweeping in from off the Atlantic, so turning wet and windy then through the course of Sunday. Just in the south, it's just rain. In the north, not only rain, but also very strong winds. See the tight bars on the southern side of below there in Sunday evening. Again, looking pretty wild up in the north. Beyond that, we start bringing some wet weather into the far southeastern corner early next week. Not sure about that. Then we're turning drier through the middle part of the week, and then the rain comes back with this low at the end of next week, turns wet and windy, and then we're back in something a bit drier again by day 10. Now, these are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 28th of October. Something has gone wrong with the charts here. So we've lost the colours. But I think I should still be able to interpret these. So we've got 26 members of the ECM ensembles with sort of a ridge down to the southwest and low pressure here. So that's kind of just flat westerly, probably quite showery. And that sort of thing. And they've got 25, so it's virtually a 50-50 split. Clearly control and the operation run raising pressure from the southwest and also to the northeast as well, sending the low pressure, or pinning the low pressure in through there. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Oh dear, we've got a lot of them as well. So let's see how I get on with these. 13 members of the ECM ensembles. I'm earning my keep today. Gav's earning his keep. 13 members of the ECM ensembles. I think we're like a westerly flow. If I'm interpreting these wrong, let me know in the comments what you think, everybody. 13 with like westerly flow, quite unsettled. 11 with low pressure towards Scandinavia, higher pressure down out to the west and to the southwest. So that's going to be a little bit colder. Wind perhaps in more from a northwesterly direction. Now, what are the 10 here doing? It looks like we've probably got a ridge down here, a low pressure through there with a southwesterly flow, maybe. We've got 7 with high pressure building across the country, but that's quite a cold ridge, bringing the wind in from the north, probably low pressure through here. 7 with quite deep low pressure in the Atlantic, that's quite easy to interpret. And then 3 with high pressure just to the west. That could be a little bit chilly as well. There are a range of options on the table, both at day 10. Well, 50-50 split at day 10, and then a range of options at 2 weeks out. Possibly we're going to get some drier and colder weather for the end of October into the start of November. But I just wonder about the 10 here, whether that could actually be high pressure blocking up there. Looks a little bit like it, doesn't it? High pressure through there, some sort of ridge down here, and maybe low pressure through there. But anyway, there we go. Let me know in the comments what you think about my interpretation. Hopefully the colours will be back tomorrow to make it a bit easier to see what they're showing. Right, CFS finally. Now, most of we're looking at the CFS weeklies at the start of the video. We're not. We're looking at the CFS for November, because we've already looked at weeklies in January, Friday. So lastly, this is how CFS is predicting November today in terms of the 700 millibar height anomaly forecast. Remember, these change daily. Today's idea is for high pressure to be dominant in the North Atlantic into the west of Europe as well. But might go for a mild and average month, but I would have thought there is a possibility of some cooler or colder weather at times, given the high pressure is sort of centering to the northwest of us. You would have thought at times anyway we could get some colder interludes from the north. And precipitation wise, not much of a signal, but maybe a drier than average month coming up. We shall see. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Make sure everyone bored doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's say what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. Show everyone for doing that. Just what's happening on the channel over the weekend. Tomorrow, we're going to have a 6 to 10 UK weather forecast. We'll have a weekend forecast, EC42 day, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day video as well. And then on Sunday, again, we all kicks off 6 AM forecast. We will have the what have we got coming up? Oh, the 8th winter update. Blimey, I shouldn't forget that. Yeah, 8th winter update. It's going to be an epic all the way on Sunday. Maybe I'm not quite 100% with it. No, we've got the 8th winter update coming up on Sunday. That's going to be true epic. I'll be at 10 AM. And then going to be live, I think, at 5:30. But I'll confirm that over the weekend. Live at 5:30 to 6:30. So I will confirm the time of Sunday's live stream though over the weekend for you. Right, well, you enjoy the rest of your Friday, and for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.